Before the video starts, please know that Deadlock is still in early development, meaning that the characters, weapons, items, and even the lore can change. Subscribe if you want to see more videos of mine, and give it a like if you think it was decent. Hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Deadlock takes place in an alternate New York City where supernatural had always existed, but stayed in the shadows. That all changed in 1899 when an event known as the Maelstrom occurred. During this event, astral gates opened up, allowing entities from beyond to enter our world. These brought back spirits like Vindicta, who was executed during the Salem witch trials in the 1600s, accused of being a witch.
I'm not a witch. Witches are people. They have wants and dreams. All I have is revenge, and the undying will to see it through.
Complete the ritual, and the friends of humanity will fall before you.
Another is Dynamo. Once a professor at the Columbia University, he lost his body in the first Maelstrom. Over 50 years later, ever since, he has been altered. 50 years later, after the first celestial event, two godlike beings emerged, the Amber Hand and the Sapphire Flame. These Patronons are outer plane entities who grant wishes to anyone who completes their ritual. But the ritual comes at a cost. It requires two rival teams to fight each other across the cursed streets of New York, known as the Cursed Apple. These teams compete to summon their Patronons before the enemies do. It's a war in the streets, chaotic, magical, and high stakes. Multiple major factions now operate in Deadlock: OSIC, the Baxter Society, Fairfax Industries, Friends of Humanity, the Mendoza Syndicate, Tunnel Rats, New York Oracle, and the brands scattered across Deadlock. The OSIC is a government agency that protects the country from supernaturals. The Baxter Society are monster hunters, and those that are included in the society are Great Talon, Calico, and Shiv. Fairfax Industry is a company that specializes in spirit weaponry. Friends of Humanity is an anti-supernatural political faction founded by Vindicta's killer. The Mendoza Syndicate was a crime syndicate located in the Spanish Harlem, but was later taken down by Ivy. The Tunnel Rats was a black market network operating inside New York City's tunnel system. The New York Oracle was a news outlet broadcasting from the Cursed Apple. And the most obvious one are the brands scattered across Deadlock. Most characters in Deadlock are tied together by history, either as rivals, allies, enemies, or survivors of past conflicts. Dynamo is friends with Ivy and Kelvin. Vindicta and Mo and Krill are both his enemies. Vindicta's friends are Calico and Sinclair, but her rivals are Dynamo and Warden. When Great Talon retired from the Baxter Society, he chose Shiv as his replacement. Here is a dialogue when Great Talon kills Shiv.
It seems I chose my replacement poorly.
Another thing that I forgot to mention is that Great Talon's son and daughter-in-law were both killed during a fire, and he suspects that Haythorn was his killer.
I'm coming for you, Haythorn.
Calico's allies are Great Talon and Mo and Krill, but her enemies is the OSIC and Hayes. Ivy's allies are Dynamo and Hayes, but her rivals are the Tunnel Rats. Mo and Krill's ally is Calico, and his enemies is Hayes and Ivy. Kelvin's allies is Dynamo and Warden, I guess, but his enemies is Vindicta and Sinclair. Sinclair are two people in one, Henry and Savannah Sinclair. They use misdirection and psychic illusion to distract enemies while searching for a way to separate themselves again. Dynamo tried to help them via astral technology, but failed. Warden was raised to be a supernatural killing machine dedicated to stopping the Patronons from entering our world. He hides his true motives from his allies and the Patronons. Despite their telepathic abilities. These are the characters that have a direct link to each other or know each other from someone else. The other characters that I didn't mention don't have a real motive of why they're fighting for the Patron. The other characters don't have meaningful lore to Deadlock, none that I can find. If you find anything, please drop it down in the comments. Now I will talk about why the characters are there and fighting for the Patron and what they want. Dynamo fights in the ritual to become human again and to reunite with his dead wife Marla. Vindictive fights in the ritual to kill the person that had killed her years before and to reshape the world to her liking. Grey Talon fights in the ritual to maintain control and prevent supernatural harm. Calico fights in the ritual for wealth, freedom, and to escape her past, and that she was promised a seat next to the Patronons. Haze fights in the ritual to silence the nightmares and to keep her mind in order from falling apart. Ivy fights in the ritual to help rebuild the Spanish Harlem and to protect her community. Mo and Krill fights in the ritual for the black market dominance and the power. Seclair wants to separate their fused souls, his and his lover, and to regain his lost love for her. Warden fights in the ritual to kill all Patronons and to end the ritual cycle. Kelvin fights in the ritual for the knowledge of the deep structure of reality. He wants to map all astral gates. Another interesting character that I like to mention is Viscus, and how his home is in the deep, meaning that possibly lives under New York, far deep below the ground. Viscus fights in the ritual to protect his homeland from a dark, dangerous predator that prowls the depths under the Bermuda Triangle. If he completes the ritual, then he would have protected his home from the creature, and his sole mission is to summon the Patron, whatever means possible. As of right now, Val hasn't been focusing on the lore of Deadlock. As the time of recording this, there are new leaks in Deadlock containing new characters and expanding the lore of Deadlock. If this is true, then Deadlock's lore will expand, adding more dialogue and mystery into the game. There's an article from PC Gamer about the new leaks and how they got it, and supposedly a streamer revealed it by accident, opening a wrong tab of a separate playtest, and these are the characters. Deadlock's lore is still being created by Val and expanding along as we play the game. We still know very little about the game and the lore within each characters of the game. And that's the story so far in the world of Deadlock, from factions torn apart by the Maelstrom to the heroes driven by secrets, revenge, and survival. There is still so much more to uncover.